So good evening. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight to our Ybor Town Hall Tuesday. I'm Deputy Chief Ruth Kate with the Tampa Police Department, and with me tonight I have Major Eric DeFelice. Yay! Captain Daniel College. Yay! And Officer Victor Armida. So before we begin, we also have our police chaplains here. If Reverend Davis could please come up and say invocation for us.
You want? No, it's not the police. Stand.
Let us. Heavenly Father, we thank you for blessing us and keeping us throughout the day, and for blessing us to arrive here safely to this event, this community forum. I pray, Father, that you would bless us, strengthen the presence of mind to seek your guidance and counsel as to what we say and how we do it, that we might work together to improve the community and the relationship in the community of law enforcement. Anchor us in your word. Let your love abide within us and bless us, Father, with the strength to continue to keep our focus on you, to lead us, you guide us in the ways of righteousness, that we might know how to love and show love one to another as you have loved us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Davis. So it's been a little while since we did a town hall in Ybor. We were last here in November, and the reason we do these town halls is because this is your opportunity to express your concerns directly to the police department. We are here because of our partnerships that we have with you, with the community, with our neighbors, with the businesses. It's so important to us to make sure that everything in Ybor runs smoothly, and we are here for you. So I bring with you department members that daily supervise those areas. Over the past year, we've had some tough times, but things have gotten a lot better. Some good stats that I like to just bring up, a few minor things. Overall, the arrests in Ybor are up 12%. You might notice at nighttime more officer presence out in Ybor. That accounts for 26% are alcohol related. So the DUIs, we're out there, we're catching these people that are doing that. Total violent crime though, or total crime, is down 57%, which is good because of officer presence. But we're not void of the fact that one violent crime or one critical incident is one too many. And we don't want to spend all our time focusing on that, but how to move forward when something like that does happen, and that's why we're here tonight. So I'm going to let Major DeFelice open up with some remarks.
So good evening, everybody. Major DeFelice, District 3. And what we want to talk about is the resiliency of Ybor City, and that begins with the evolution of the district as a whole. We're always looking for best practices in the area for safety and security. We're evaluating and reevaluating what works, what we've come up from other agencies, putting that into a plan to bring the best product to the citizens, businesses, and the visitors that attend Ybor. We definitely address those concerns as they arise. And sometimes things cause us to change our mindset, our deployment, and we're always looking for new and better strategies to accomplish that mission. One of those things was better utilization of our city resources. And by that, we looked at our partner agencies to see if we could come together, like ABT, Alcoholic Beverage and Tobacco, to come forth to put together operations strategically in Ybor City to make sure that the businesses are complying with the regulations that have been set forth. We've also worked heavily with Tampa Fire Rescue, and we've come up with some ideas for better utilization of their services. We have bike medics that are able to traverse the traffic and the increased crowds with bicycles. So that means they're able to get to calls for service much more quickly and efficiently, rendering aid to those that need it in a much more efficient manner. We have code enforcement that is out there hand in hand with us. We usually have 2 code enforcement officers and a police officer that go and ensure that the code violations are addressed. And that not only ends up with a code violation, but it ends up with information that these businesses can address to fix that problem so it doesn't become a problem moving forward. And then the YES team. The YES team has become a valuable resource, being there for not only the citizens, but for us too. And I highlight that with a story that graffiti had been plaguing Ybor City. And on the scale, the criminal scale, that is a lower level offense. But it's an ugly crime, and the citizens notice that, and it detracts from the overall beauty that is Ybor City. So one of the YES team members was called upon, and he was able to help the sergeant investigate that case because he knew, after seeing video of the perpetrator, who he was, where he lived, gave us the description of the car, ultimately led us literally right to his doorstep. And that information was valuable, and it led to the arrest of that individual and the closure of 13 cases. One of the things that graffiti artists do is they tag with a very unique signature, which makes us able to identify all of the locations in which they tagged. In addition to that, there was another suspect that was identified and information was obtained where another 7 or 8 graffiti tagging locations were identified, and that individual, he was charged as well. So that cooperation and partnership goes a long way, and it just doesn't stop with just the police department. Probably one of the most valuable components to our deployment is the community partnerships. We are constantly doing things like this, having meetings with the citizens, the businesses, the stakeholders, and the visitors, listening, and hearing your concerns for what we can do to make things better in the district. So we've approached this with a we are Ybor mentality. And what I mean by that is that when tragedy strikes, it affects us all, every single one of us. We all offer input to best practices to make Ybor a better place. We are the resiliency of Ybor City because it is through the hard work, determination, energy, and effort put forth by all of us that makes it better in the district. We want to make it the best place to live, work, and play because those are the interests that we deal with on a regular basis. So our model is simple. We are Ybor, and every day we go out with that mission to make it better. Thank you. I'd like to introduce Captain College.
Good evening. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to top that, so please bear with me. First off, I want to thank everybody for being here. I know there's people watching. I want to thank them as well. It's a partnership. It's a collaborative relationship where we could not enjoy the successes that we have been seeing without the assistance and without the support of the community. Ybor is so unique to the city of Tampa. I compare it to the DNA profile of Tampa. You watch events on TV, national events, and the first thing they show is 7th Avenue. That's how significant Ybor carries under the name of Tampa. So part of my responsibilities is Ybor City. I also have downtown, Channelside, some other areas, but Ybor is just, again, it's my everyday thought, morning, day, and night. Like the Major said, we have partnered up with code enforcement and the fire marshal's office, and that really wasn't about enforcement, that was about compliance and cooperation. We weren't out there to get people or punish people. It was like, hey, it's been a while since we've done this, it's probably gonna take some time, but we saw immediate results where we pretty much, code enforcement and the fire marshals were at work within a few weeks, just through the cooperation of the business owners to get everything in compliance during the week, and when we show up the next weekend, and everything would be fantastic. So thank you for that. Some of the things that we've been doing operationally, like the Major and the Chief indicated, we've allocated resources to provide a more robust presence where we feel that it's that right balance of just enough but not too much. We want people to feel safe, and we don't want people to feel like there's a large presence here, maybe it's not safe. No, we want them to feel comfortable. A little bit of background about me, I was raised up north. It was always common just to go up to a street cop and ask them questions. And that's what we instill in our officers down here, where we have 2 of our liaisons here tonight to help you, just for you guys to get to know them. I know that's our purpose. Is like, we're not just here chasing bad guys. It's about making people feel comfortable, making them feel safe, and you know, just we can even provide history of Ybor City and point people in the right direction. We also have been doing both overt and covert narcotics investigations. Again, that's really to keep people in compliance and deter that activity. To be naive and think that it doesn't occur would be irresponsible on my part. But being out there and keeping people on notice that we still will conduct those operations, hopefully will mitigate some of the issues that we've seen in the past. We also addressed underage drinking with alcohol, beverage, and tobacco. That's again to keep people in compliance, keep them honest. The business venues do a fantastic job of trying to screen that, but it's something that's happened in the past, it happens today, and it'll probably happen in the future. But they've been fully cooperative with our efforts, and I couldn't ask for a better relationship with the venues when it comes to addressing underage drinking. I want to address a couple of quick numbers because I know it's about listening as well, but I'm very proud of them because it's a result of the efforts of the officers and the community working together. So from January to August 2023, compared to January to August 2024, burglaries are down 75%, robberies are down 93.75%, thefts are down 50%, and vehicle theft is down 68.75%. Those are significant. I can tell you Thursday through Sunday from 9 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning, burglaries are down 100% to 0, and robberies down 100% to 0. And those are significant. And I feel horrible for whoever has to brief this later, a year from now, because I don't see how we could ever match those numbers. But I'm just very proud of the efforts of the community and the officers. It's not me doing the work, it's you and them, but I just thought it was something I needed to bring to your attention.
Before I give the mic to Officer Rodriguez, one more important stat that is very important to us is that firearms taken from auto burglaries are down 19%. That's really huge. We have, though, citywide recovered 1,100 firearms, but in Ybor City alone, it's down 19%. So everybody's locking their doors and they're using the gun locks. They're more conscientious about their firearms. And we have our community service officers out there today that have free locks for people to lock up their guns. So that gun safety is on the foremost of our what we're doing, of our crime fighting is what we're thinking about. So I'll let Officer Rodriguez tell you a little more about what he does as an Ybor and Ybor.
Officer Rodriguez, basically it's a proactive approach to policing, day-to-day operations, basically on foot patrol, interacting with the businesses to put a face basically for TPD and work together with businesses to make it safer out there. There's 3 of us on evening shift, which is what I work. It can change from the weekends. Weekends more is the party scene. I'll reach out to the business, see what's going on, to try to address and take a proactive approach before something happens. Most of the businesses, managers, security, have my cell phone number and they'll contact me directly if they see something. Most important thing is, like I tell them, is if they see something, say something before it happens. Because we want to address it before it escalates to anything beyond that. But
That's great. So one of the things that we have been doing this year, we've been working more closely with City Council to implement ordinances to help us in our parking lots. Because we noticed that the unattended parking lots, people tend to linger there and then bad things happened. So we're working on that with City Council and enhancing our security plan there. The other thing that we've done is that we have worked closely to get grant money to help us purchase cameras. So we'll have more cameras in the Ybor City area. So we are going to triple the number of cameras that we have, and also our license plate readers. So those will be viewed in our real-time crime center. So we have officers that are dedicated just to view with closed circuit TV cameras, and they'll be viewing those. So that's what's very important to us. The Ybor liaison officers work closely with local businesses and address the concerns. They bring them to staff, and we find ways to solve them and get resources out to the community. So we have also with us tonight for our business watch, Corporal Gig Brown, and then we have one more community liaison officer, Bridget Carmelo. So they'll be available also for questions if you have them. So I think with that, we could probably open up for questions that anybody has. Somebody has a question?
Michael Gonzalez, native Ybor. I'm very impressed with the progress that has been made in Ybor City. Being a native from there. You think I did it?
Say I didn't say it. Oh, yeah.
I've noticed a big difference in the community as a whole. The nucleus at Ybor City, obviously development is coming through as well to support a lot of the businesses that have been previously frequented to the more social economic type of businesses. I'd like to address the north side of the interstate as also part of Ybor, and ask that there have been any progress made in specifically from the interstate to Martin Luther King, where it's been notoriously plagued with illegal activities. Is there anything in place, obviously, to take care of the nucleus first, and then maybe some of the outlying areas? Is there anything specific targeted for that section?
Yes, thank you for that question. So we have, historically, East Tampa has been a hotbed of activity, and I understand what you're saying. All our efforts aren't concentrated just in Ybor City, that we have a very robust plan in place for the area that you're talking about north of the interstate. One of the things that we've done recently is we have retooled our day shift SAC squad, and those are the half plainclothes guys that run around in cool cars. They have vests that clearly identify them as police, but they are involved in quality of life issues. So a lot of what we deal with in policing is, violent crime. We've become good at that. We're the experts in that. But when an agency does a good job and gets violent crime, I say, knocking on wood, under control, we start to see these other things that take over, and those are the quality of life. They're the loitering, the trespassing, illegal dumping, slum and play. All of those crimes, loud noise that really take over and dominate my landscape every day. When my phone rings, there's a good chance that it's going to be addressing one of those concerns, exactly what you're talking about. So we have reallocated, retooled the day shift SAC squad to go out and address those type of issues. So they're not tied to a radio, meaning that they're not answering calls for service. So when we get those priority areas, we work with our partners, that some of them are seated over here, and we're able to go out real time and address them. And to talk about success stories, I have friends that are here right now that will call me when they see something that's out of place. And on 2 occasions in the past, probably 10 days, we go to the location and we're not just running people away so they just come back, but we're able to identify a crime that was taking place and make arrests in those crimes. And that has a lasting effect because one, the perpetrator is off the streets for however long until they get back out. But it sends a message that we're not just going to come, talk to you from our car window and shoo you away. We invest time and energy into these for a long-lasting solution. So those are the type of things that we look forward to doing and expanding upon those as we move forward and through the rest of the year, sir.
And
Okay, well, I want to thank you for your attention to the area, and also I'm looking forward to some of the shift changes that were made. The people seem they're coming on board and very proactive, or could be, by reaching out. What I raised at the last town hall after the shootings on 26th Avenue in Nebraska is there's still loitering at all the places where there's green stickers. And I wish the city, if I read the Florida statute that's on there, it looks like the police are able to act on behalf of the owner. It doesn't have stipulations whether or not the business is open or who calls. It just says the officer or the TPD or the city will, I don't know the exact verbiage, but it will act upon the owner's behalf. So what I'm asking, again, is that the green stickers, if we defined more clearly that anyone can call on the green stickers if there's loitering. There's still loitering up at that 26th since that note started getting out of hand again. It was getting out of hand right before the last shooting, so it's like, we see activity in our neighborhoods, we need to trust that we know what we're seeing, and we know who hangs where, so that usually is like prostitutes and drug dealers, and that causes shootings and stuff like that. So I wish there would be a better definition, and if business owners don't, if they want to be picky about who gets cited, then they should get a green sticker. And the people that get the green sticker should want it enforced across the board. And then my other thing would be just quality of life issues. Everywhere where homeless loiter, they leave trash behind. And we've talked to our city council person about just having someone clean up the trash, but it's getting really egregious in certain areas like along Florida, and I think if TPD could work hand in hand with code enforcement, keep those areas clear, especially ahead of October 1st. That is going to become illegal, and the city cannot allow people to be sleeping on the sidewalks starting October 1st. So, it'd be interesting to hear what TPD is planning to do, especially since it seems like a lot of that was being plugged into our area.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts there, but thank you. So the easy one, the new House bill that's going in effect for October 1, it doesn't affect us too much because the city already has an ordinance for no camping. So we're going to keep doing business as normal. Where it does change is that if the city does enact, come January 1, it gives private business owners recourse to take action against the city for not doing that. So we are very fortunate that the mayor and the Tampa Hillsborough community, the housing initiative, that we are able to house some of the homeless people. And we're working. Outreach is so important because we can move them along, but they're going to come back. They're very territorial. And when I go out, and I've actually met some of the homeless, and I learned some of the reasons why they're homeless, because they lived there as young children, and for whatever reason their families moved away and they're still here. And they're now adults, but they're not responsible adults. So we're working on that and in anticipation of the October 1st date coming, but it really doesn't change business for us. But yes, I've been to a few meetings with you, and everything north of the interstate is so important to us. To make sure that we're working on those quality of life issues, working on simple things like the open containers and the loitering, because it does bring a lot of trash, and the clean team will come through and pick it up, and then if it gets even bigger, then we have to bring out a big truck, and it's labor intensive for them, but still we're coming. So our city partners are there, so please call us, and we ask that you call early. I mean, if you see the one person there, and it's like, it's just one person, it will bring a second person. We need to know so we can get out there very quick. And we have the neighborhood liaison officers that can do that, and our homeless liaison officers that will go out there. So thank you, and we'll continue to work on that, especially those areas. I've seen improvements over the years, but we always can improve. Anyone else? I feel like we're doing really good since last year, but I know there's more concerns.
Good evening, Tasia Stagg. My quality of life is still extremely poor because and only because I've been experiencing stalking and intimidations at 63 pounds 3 weeks ago. At the Bay City Hall, I suggested signing up for the paid-for, federally funded training offered by the Stalking Awareness, Prevention, and Resource Center, which can be found at stalkingawareness.org. I'd like an update on the status of that request.
Hi. So we have training already for our officers, but I did pass that on to our legal advisor to look at. I think you just emailed me recently when I was out of town. So I can get an update. I have your email address and send it on that one because she's got to vet every program that we do. But we do have stalking training for our officers. So it is very important that they have it. 2 or more unwanted acts is stalking. And that's very important. So if we ever have an officer that doesn't understand something, we want to make sure that supervisors are aware and that we take action and we correct that. They do have that training, but I'll have to get back with you because it was sent to our legal advisor to look at.
Yeah, you're welcome. I want to talk a little more about what you do as a liaison, visiting the businesses.
Yes, so, like I said previously, I have close contacts with all the businesses, stakeholders. We basically work together to address any issues that they have, including quality of life issues, trespassing, some of the homelessness on the property. On the evenings, it's a little different because it's the party scene. So if they have issues with patrons there, they will reach out directly to me to at least get somebody there to address it or have some kind of presence, especially in the parking lots on the evening shift. During the night, the parking lots are one of the biggest problems because people like to congregate. So what I always tell them is if they see it, let us know immediately so we can address it. Like the chief said, one person leads to 2 people to multiple people, and then that's when the issues arise. On a day-to-day operation, we're either on foot patrol, interacting with the patrons that are visiting from all over the world. I've met people from Germany, Australia, that just come here to visit Ybor because they heard about it and they want to grab a cigar. And the most important thing is to leave them with a positive look at Ybor itself so they can pass it on to everybody else.
So even after tonight, the conversation will not end just here. Next month, we know that it's going to be the anniversary of what happened October 29th. So we do have a remembrance ceremony that will happen. There'll be more information coming out as soon. We have contacted a few of the family members because we wanted them to know first that we would plan to do that, and they may or may not attend. It's up to them, but they're very appreciative. So we are very conscious that this unfortunate anniversary is coming up, and we are going to continue these conversations, and we're going to continue to make strides to keep our partnerships in Ybor with all of you very strong and to keep going. So thank you. Okay, well, if that is it, then we could just one-on-one. If you have questions for us, please come up. We're going to be here for a little bit. Let us answer anything for you, and we appreciate everybody coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.